right, happy Wednesday to you. It's always good to be back on AH Live, and I have a very special episode for you. I actually had to be at church tonight, but I did not want to miss a week. So we pre-recorded this so you would not miss AH Live, and we have a fantastic show, and I'm sure I'll be dropping in on the comments and chatting with you guys, but please click share. We want to spread the love. You know we're here every Wednesday with an incredible lineup, and tonight we've got Paula Atherton and Vaughn Stupart. So we're so excited about that. Please click share, spread the love, and I'm going to get straight to the music. I want to bring this song to you. We are celebrating. It is number one in the country. It's official. My 5th number one on Billboard, 7th number one overall. I feel so grateful. Thank you so much to my radio promoter, all the stations. I'm talking too much. We got to bring it to you right now. It's Escape. It featured the one and only Rick Braun on the original. We're number one, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you. my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, I feel so fortunate. Thanks again to all the support, all of the listeners out there, all the stations, and my radio promoter, Jason Goroff. The feeling It's always a great feeling, and always love being number one. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Real quick, want to remind you guys, if you want to support the show, it's super easy. We've got those links in the description for PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo, and now we support stars as well, so you can drop the stars in, and it helps us keep the show going and have these great guests every week. And so I can't thank you guys enough. We always make sure to commemorate you every episode in the credits. And so there you have it, if you want to help out. So excited about this episode. As I mentioned, two incredible artists. Number one, Paula Atherton, a great vocalist, great saxophonist, and great flautist. And we started off on the same label together, Kalimba Music, Maurice White's label from Earth, Wind & Fire. That's how we connected, and she's just gone on to have an incredible career. And so excited to share a couple songs from her. And then we have another newcomer, Vaughn Stupart, a gentleman that I just got connected with and had the pleasure of producing his new EP. It's a fantastic record. We did 4 songs together. He'll be sharing one of those. And of course, we have some great conversation as well. So ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy Paula Atherton, followed by Vaughn Stupart.
What is up, Paula Atherton? How are you today?
How you doing, Adam? Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, of course. The pleasure is all mine. Thank you for taking some time out. Well, let's dive right in. Give us an idea, some backstory. What prompted you to pick up the saxophone?
I was actually studying improvising, how to play jazz, and I already was singing and playing flute. And, I was learning some like Charlie Parker lines and playing them in every key and doing all that kind of stuff. And learning horn solos, scatting horn solos. But the thing about the flute as an instrument just wasn't expressing all the colors that I wanted to express. And really logical place for a woodwind player to go after flute is saxophone, because a lot of the fingerings are the same, unlike the clarinet.
Well, and I'm glad you mentioned, because I was going to bring that up, the flute and also your voice, because we're all trying to find a way to be unique. There's so many instrumentalists out there, so many saxophonists, but you've definitely made your show unique by still incorporating the flute and singing. And I think that's awesome. What was your thought behind that? Was it just that, to do something different?
No, it's just what I do.
Okay.
I really think, and that's a really good point, if people just are themselves, everybody has their own fingerprint, right? Your artistry and your voice, your sound, whatever that is on an instrument or singing or writing or whatever it is, if you just follow like your inner voice, no one is going to be the same as you, because no one is the same as you.
The other thing I wanted to bring up was, and we can tell a little bit by your accent, you've got that classic New Yorker sound. What has New York meant to your, just your musical career and upbringing?
Well, it's just where I happen to live. It's not where I want to live.
Okay.
I want to live in San Diego.
Oh.
I've always wanted to live in California, and it's just never worked out for me.
Okay.
A lot of people think I'm from California, but only in my mind. So, being a New Yorker my whole life, we're proud of New York and the melting pot that New York is. The borough of Queens, which is right where we live, on the border of where we live, it's the most diverse borough in the world. So I've taught there a little bit, and the kids, they just all play together. They're from every background you could possibly imagine, and they just get along. It's kind of like a microcosm of what the world should be.
Well, also speaking of New York, you were nice enough to extend an invitation to myself to do a show there, and we had the auspicious legacy of pretty much shutting down BB King's. We were one of the last shows that ever happened there. And Cindy Bradley also was on the bill, and
yes.
That was such a blast, and I appreciated you inviting me.
Yeah, I'm just glad that we got to play there before they did close.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the clubs and restaurants in Manhattan have gone out of business because of COVID, you know.
Yeah.
Birdland didn't even reopen yet.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that was a great night. It was really fun. And I'm really sad that B.B. King's had to close.
Well, what was it like? Because you just recently did a show, right? Didn't one finally pop up?
Yeah, on Saturday we played the Hub City Jazz Festival, which usually is at least 2 days. And, you know, it's a big event at the Hyatt in New Brunswick, New Jersey. And I'm actually part of that organization. I'm on the board there. I did a whole bunch of jazz workshops for them in July via Zoom or Skype or whatever we used. I don't know.
Yeah.
So we played this Sunday for them. We closed out the show, and you know, the temperature actually was really good, and it was just nice to see the guys in my band, my New York guys, because I haven't been able to like really see anybody or work with anybody. Like, we haven't worked together probably in a year, you know. And to see some friends in the audience, everybody was distanced, and you know, it's just, I mean, it was great to be able to do that.
Well, let's get to the music. You were nice enough to let me jump on this tune, 20 Miles to Nowhere. It's such a cool tune. Just give us a little backstory on it.
Well, I'm sure you know how it is when you have an instrumental tune and it doesn't have a name.
Right.
I mean, I have named instrumental tunes like, you know, that they started with the title, but that happens for, at least for me, not very often.
Mm-hmm.
So the tune got written before it had a name, is what I'm trying to say. There is a little bit of traveling theme in my new release. The first track is called One Night in Madrid, you know, so I had a couple things in there that reflected that. And 20 Miles to Nowhere just sounds to me like, you know, we took the plane, we're in the car, where are we anyway? You know, we're like driving, and it's just, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, if people only knew the working titles that these songs have.
Oh. Well, hey, let's bring it to the people right now. 20 Miles from Nowhere, it's Paula Atherton. awesome, Paula. What a great tune. Thanks so much for letting me play on that. And we've got one more. This was a smash hit for you. Went all the way to #1. And it's also the title track of your new album that came out in September. Make sure, ladies and gentlemen, you check it out. It's Can You Feel It? Oh, there it is. All right, all right. Well, tell us about it. Tell us about Can You Feel It?
Yeah, well, I had quite a few of the tracks done by the time COVID hit, but once COVID hit, I said, okay, I guess I'm finishing my album now.
Right.
That's what we do as musicians, right? You know,
Yeah.
we get hit with stuff and we make it work. So that's what we do. So, yeah, I got the rest of it done. And this particular album is different from some of my other ones in that I worked with 5 different producers on it.
Mm.
So I think as musicians, we're always trying to like push the envelope a little bit. Like, what can I do on this recording to make it a little bit different, you know, for the listeners, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like you were talking before, like that I sing and play flute and saxophone on a show to change it. You know, things to keep people's interest, make it entertaining. You're trying to entertain them, you know, make them happy, entertain them. You want them to have a good time listening.
Well, you definitely can't skip past this track. So let's bring it to you right now. It's the title track, Can You Feel It? Awesome. Well, I can see why that was a smash #1 hit. Thanks again, Paula, for doing that. And real quick, before we get out of here, please let people know where they can find you online and on social media.
Sure thing. So I'm on Twitter at Patherton1, Instagram at Paula Atherton Music. I have a fan page and a friends page on Facebook. I guess, LinkedIn, and that's about it, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, get the new album. It just came out in September. It's hot. Can you feel it?
Hot.
Thanks so much, Paula, for coming through.
Thanks for having me, and can't wait to see you and Kat in person sometime.
Definitely. Let's connect soon. How's everything?
Man, everything is great, man. I'm telling you, it's an honor to be here, man.
Oh,
it's an honor to be on AH Live. It's an honor, buddy. Thank you so much.
Take us back to the beginning. What was the impetus for picking up the saxophone?
Let me tell you, in music, I've been in music all my life, man. My father was the trumpet player.
Okay.
And, growing up, I grew up in Harlem. And, that's like jazz mecca, man,
Yeah.
But
wow.
My father used to come home and, play his music. And I'd be, John Coltrane and all these, Clifford Brown. And yeah, man, he was just doing his thing. He'd pick up his trumpet and just start jamming to those things, So I heard that all my life. So I got bitten by the music bug a long time ago. And like I said, growing up in Harlem, at one time you grew up in Harlem, man, they had this thing called Jazzmobile, where I'm not sure if you ever heard of that, but Jazzmobile, you walk around Harlem, man, and they had like these stages that was hooked by mobile. And you had, these great jazz musicians, man, Houston Person, Jack McDuff, all these guys are up there just playing. So you just, anywhere in Harlem, you can just go get music,
Wow.
My mom used to take us to the Apollo Theater quite often, like the Sundays. That was like a trip. Every Sunday, we're going to the Apollo Theater. And I'm looking at all these people up on stage, and I'm just looking at them saying, I want to be up there, But anyway, yeah, and by the time I got into high school, I was actually playing drums, and I wanted to play drums for the band in high school, and they had no openings for drummers, and the music teacher was a kicking clarinet player. He played clarinet, and I said, you know what, give me that instrument. So that's what he gave me, the clarinet, and that's how I started. I started clarinet in high school, and switched over to the saxophone. And ever since then, man, I haven't put the saxophone down. Listening to people like Grover Washington Jr., Hank Crawford.
Yeah.
And then that's what really got me going.
It was meant to be, man. You could play that saxophone. So
thank you, man.
Maybe it found you.
Yeah, it's just something about that horn, man. That I just love it, and it's amazing how you have so many different saxophonists out there, and it's like everybody makes that instrument just make it their way, everybody plays it differently, and it's just a wonderful thing, and it's a beautiful instrument.
You had mentioned you used to have these jam sessions and some pretty heavy cats would come through. Just tell us a little bit about what that scene was like.
Let me tell you, man, growing up in Harlem, there used to be some clubs in Harlem back in the days where there was like 3 or 4 clubs where all the bands used to just come in. And you had people, you had Keith Sweat. Keith Sweat was in a band called Jamila at the time. And we were just, the local band that I was in, we would just bounce back and forth. We would be playing at one club. And during our break, we'll jump on the train or jump in somebody's car. And we're going down from like maybe 145th Street in Harlem down to 125th Street, where the Apollo Theater is. And there was like 3 or 4 clubs in that area. And we'll go down there and you had Keith Sweat playing with Jamila. We had Johnny Kemp. You played with Johnny Kemp?
Yeah.
Got paid.
Yeah.
He came up from like, I think like the Virgin Islands or something. He came up with a band called Kinky Fox. And it was like when they came to the U.S., man, they just exploded in Harlem. They were like all over the place. So Johnny Kemp was Kinky Fox, and every once in a while, you had Najee was a part of the jamming session. Najee was in like Queens and Long Island. He was with a group called Area Code. And area code was, oh man. So, you know, I grew up seeing these guys and next to them jamming and just hanging out, you know. But it's funny, the funny thing is, Adam, my kids, you know, when they were teenagers, I would tell them, I used to hang out, I used to jam with Teddy Riley. And they'll look at me like, yeah, Dad, yeah, you played with Teddy Riley, you know what I mean? But my kids, you know, at the time when my kids were teenagers, I mean, Teddy Riley and Guy, it was just like, they were blowing up.
Yeah.
You know? So I said, yeah, I used to play with Teddy Riley. Teddy Riley was like 14, 15 years old in Harlem. It was go down there and just hang out. Yeah, man. So, you know, I took a different path in my life. You know, I took a different path. And that's it. Now I'm just reinventing myself, man. And I'm really doing it for my kids. You know, I'm doing it to leave a legacy. You know, I want to continue making music as long as I can, and as long as I got you, man, you've been guiding me all the way, man.
Oh.
I really, really, really appreciate it. You know, I really appreciate you.
Let's start with, actually, you decided to do a cover of an Isley Brothers tune. And you mentioned it to me, and the more I thought about it, I was like, I can't think of really anybody that's really done this. And I love your version. What was the impetus behind you?
Thank you. You know, growing up, I heard the Isley Brothers. I loved that song. Always loved that song. And I think they did it somewhere like that, maybe 1974, somewhere like that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do a ballad. I wanted to do a slow tune, and I told you, I said, I want to break it down. I want to do it slow. And I said, let's do this. And like we spoke, we haven't heard anyone doing it instrumental.
Yeah.
You know, so that was one of the things. I said, let's do that. And I love it. I love the way this song goes. I love the way it flows. It's a Todd Rundgren song, also. So that's why I chose that tune.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's great. And then you also have a tune, Mercedes, on there, dedicated to your mother. Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. I wanted to do a homage to, you know, my family is from the Jamaica, West Indies. And I wanted to do a reggae tune. You know, I told you that. And so once I said that, and the song Mercedes remind me so much of my mom. Because we used to go to parties, and I used to see my mom just having a great time, just, you know, dancing and smiling. And every time I hear that tune now, I listen to it now, and I tell you, that's one of the songs that a lot of people tell me that they really like out of that EP.
Oh, wow.
But I listen to that song, and I can just see my mom smile. I can see her just having a great time, you know? So, Mercedes, that's my mom's name. You know?
Love it. I love it. Yeah, man. And speaking of which, your lovely wife Lynn has a really great cookbook you were nice enough to send us, and so y'all know a little bit of something about the cuisine. I mean, it's authentic. I'll give you that.
That's right. Now that you mentioned Lynn, that first song, Best Love I've Ever Known.
Yeah.
I wrote that song for my wife.
Wow.
Back in 1991, that song was in my head.
Wow.
And I sent it to you. I said, man, I want to do this song over. And we just brought that song to life. So that was a song that was dedicated to my wife.
Man.
And we actually got married in 1991, and that's when that song came about.
Wow. Okay. And so that's
man.
now 29 years later, it's finished.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
Man,
Absolutely.
that is so cool. I'm learning something right now. I didn't realize that. That is so cool.
Okay.
Well, let's get to the fourth track, which you're actually going to perform for us here in a little bit. Living It Up in the City. I love this tune. Such a groove, such a vibe. Tell us about it.
The energy. I love the energy of that song. Just reminds me of growing up in New York City, man. You know, you hear that song, you know, just jumping. So that's a song when I think about growing up in New York City and all the things that was going on around. That's just the energy of that song is where it's living it up in the city. Now that song, it's the weirdest thing is, we went to visit our daughter, and I'm playing the song and playing the track, you know, to my, listening to the beginning part of it. And my daughter's singing. She sings, living it up in the city. And I'm like, whoa, okay, there you go. And that's it. That's how that was titled, Living It Up in the City. All my kids are a part of my project. You know what I mean? I got my granddaughter working, you know, and my granddaughter is 13.
Okay.
And actually she'll be 14 next week. And she's actually one designed my album cover. You know what I mean? I mean, she's just, you know, everybody's just a part of this project. And that's why I'm so glad I'm at the stage of my life now where I could just incorporate everybody in and just say, hey, I need you to do this, I need you to do that. I got people helping me out. Right now I'm in the process of building a website. So
Oh man, well we got to hear it. Let's bring it to the people, ladies and gentlemen. It's Vaughn Stupart with Living It Up in the City. Man, Vaughn, it's even better live than on the record, but thanks so much for playing that for us. Where can we find you online? You mentioned social media. Are you on Facebook?
All right, I'm on Facebook as Vaughn Stu, which is VONSTU. I'm on Twitter at Vaughn Stu Music. VONSTU Music. Instagram at Vaughn Stu Music. Okay, and my email address is vaughnstumusic@gmail.com. And you know something, Adam, I the 4 songs, the EP that we did, I put some on CDs. So if anybody's interested, you could email me at vaughnstumusic, VONSTU music@gmail.com, and we'll work and rearrange to get you a copy of that EP. All right.
Perfect. Well, you heard it right there,
so
ladies
much.
and gentlemen. You can email him to get a hard copy, and it's also available on all outlets. It's on iTunes, it's on Apple Music, Spotify, etc. So check it out. It's called Living It Up. It's his new EP, and it's Vaughn Stupart. Thanks so much, Vaughn, for coming on.
All right. Thank you, Adam. It was great, man.
Oh my goodness. Vaughn Stupart, and we had some Paula Atherton as well. Wow. That was so much fun. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think you know what time it is. It's time for the Cat Cam. Let's bring her in. Bam.
Hi.
What's up, Cat? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I almost didn't recognize you over there. You got a little different do. Tell us what happened. What happened between last week and this week? What's going on over there?
I do have a different do. I couldn't take it anymore. I had to call my hairstylist, who's also my friend. And said, what are you guys doing at the salon? You know, COVID guidelines, CDC guidelines, and she said that each stylist was only allowed 1 customer at a time. But I did not feel comfortable with that at all. I said, I don't want to go inside anywhere. And she actually said, well, you know, I'll just come to your house. I was like, oh, thank you.
There we go.
So we both, still wore our mask inside the house. I had the windows and the door open. And so she came and did it and did my twist. For those of you that are not familiar with twist, it's just added hair, kind of like extensions, basically. So.
Well, she did it. She sure did it. It's looking good. You are looking gorgeous over there. You ready?
Thank you. Well,
ready
you know,
to go for
it's
a
fresh.
swim?
It's fresh, so.
We're ready to go jump in the water, I guess.
I couldn't take it anymore. I said I have to do something with my hair. I just was so tired of washing it, blow drying it, straightening it, trying to cut it myself in the sliding glass doors in my mirror.
Yeah.
So I just was over it. So this is going to be so much easier for a little while.
Well, it's working. It's
Thank you.
working.
Thank you.
And speaking of working it, man, how about, well, first of all, Paula Atherton.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what an incredible talent. And remember, and I mentioned in an interview, but what a throwback. We had that, as I mentioned in the interview, auspicious, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just, unfortunately, we were one of the last groups to ever play at BB King's. We pretty much closed it down. You know what? We put such a hurting on them that we just closed the club. But that was a fun night. Remember, we had Cindy Bradley there. And I think we got some authentic New York pizza while we were there.
Well, what happened was we finished the gig, which my aunt that lives in Brooklyn, she and my uncle came out to the show.
Yeah.
And I guess they said, you guys got to get some pizza because we were driving to Connecticut that same night. So we got pizza. We were, had the pizza open on the dashboard of the car.
That's right. I do remember that.
Driving down the road. How long is that drive? Like 3 hours?
It's not quite that long. It's a couple hours. And shout out Al Taylor if you're watching, man. Appreciate you, man. He had us out there to do his series, and really awesome guy, great radio DJ on CD 101, and then he also has the Brass City Jazz Festival, which we've also done as well.
Yeah, and his wife Helen, she's so sweet. She is a photographer for all of the events, so she's always taking like amazing photos. But we love them; they're so cool.
Yeah, it's funny. I had totally forgot about that. I was thinking all about BB King's, and we flew in. It was a red eye, and we did the gig. Yeah. And then got some pizza, and then drove to Connecticut all in one day.
Yeah, it was pretty
We were
crazy.
younger then. We were younger then.
Well, I think I remember we had to pull over, and I finished the drive. Because
oh, wow. You're going to put me out like that? You're going to put my business out there like that? Wow. Rude.
After the pizza,
Rude.
I think you were like
I
kind
was
of
done. Yeah, I kind of went in on the pizza and it took me down. So.
But yeah,
but
we were there with Paula, and then we also shared a week with her in Madrid.
Yeah, that's right.
She and her
Right. That was so
husband.
much fun. Smooth Hot Jazz Festival. Shout out to them. We had such a blast there, and yeah, we were hanging out with her and Lou. Everybody was there. Michael Linkton, Paul Taylor,
Oh, yeah, that's
Kelly
right.
Minucci. We ran into so many people. That was so much fun. So again, we're hoping things can get going again because experiences like that you just really can't beat. We're hanging out there in the marketplace in Madrid.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, we're getting off on a tangent now because we also heard from Vaughn Stupart, and we've had so much fun getting to know Vaughn and his lovely wife Lynn, and so that was pretty awesome to hear from him as well.
Yeah, that was, and you know what, Vaughn? I have to say, you have some moves, dude.
Yeah?
I was like, yes, Vaughn.
He had it.
get
He had it.
I so enjoyed Vaughn, and it's so nice to actually, because I know you work with him a lot.
Yeah.
So I would hear him on the phone, and then we say hi to Lynn sometimes, and but it was nice to actually see him and like perform.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
It was great, and by the way, we already started on another hot tune, so look out for Vaughn. We're having a lot of blasts in the studio and got some more great music coming up. So, well, hey, because we pre-recorded, we love doing the shout-outs, but we can't do that today, but we have a ton of questions for Ask Adam. So we're going to get to that and have an extra long bonus Ask Adam today. Let's get straight to it. What's the first question?
Okay, first question is from Leon and Millie.
Okay, what's
Hi,
up?
How you
y'all
guys doing? So she says, how does it feel to be #1 on the Billboard chart?
Oh, well, as I mentioned, it always feels good. The feeling never goes away of excitement, and I just feel like a kid at Christmas. And, as I mentioned, it's the 5th on Billboard and 7th overall because there's a couple other really great charts. Smooth Jazz Network with Alan Kepler and Media Base. So I've been really fortunate. 5 on Billboard, 7 overall. And just grateful. Thanks again to Goroff Music Management and to the radio stations for spinning the tune. And we had a monster week at radio this week. We were #2 last week, and then added 30 more spins, which is not typical when you're that high up. So everybody jumped on board. Everyone wanted to escape this week. So
and I do have to say, Adam Jr., he is in that stage. He's 12 years old, so he's in that stage where nothing is really cool, and everything's lame,
right.
and he tries to act
6th
just
grade,
very,
12 years old. Yep.
very just straightforward, and he was really excited,
Yeah.
but he was trying to like downplay it, and he goes, hey Dad, congrats, like.
And he talks all low too when he wants to sound serious. That's funny thing we noticed too when he's in his virtual learning. He starts talking like Barry White. He's like, yeah, you take the denominator and you multiply that by the numerator. And then when he comes to us, Daddy, Mom, it's like, who is this boy? Which is it?
Right,
So,
and it's so fun listening to him do virtual school because he's very interactive in class. You know, when there's questions and sometimes he's telling the teachers what to do with the internet. And he's like, no, you have to click it on the right and then that'll pop up. But you can't do that when you're on this Wi-Fi. You need it to speed up. Like all this stuff. But yeah, he sounds like, like a teenager.
He was
trying to
programming
sound cool.
his phone today. It was like, I was like, who is this kid? He's killing it.
He was trying to show me some shortcut on my phone. I said, just forget it. I don't even want to know. I said, I can't
It's beyond
deal with
us.
that.
It's for the younger generation. So
Yeah. Okay, so next question. This one is from Mike Brown.
All right,
Hi,
what's
Mike
up, Mike?
and Crystal.
Mike and Crystal,
You
Philly.
know, Mike always has his extravagant
I
questions.
know. Mike, are you going to put me to work again? What's he asking? What's the
Okay.
deal?
He says you're putting together the next generation of the Tower of Power horn section for a tour. You need 3 sax players, 2 trumpeters, and 1 trombonist. They have to be your contemporaries. Who's in Holly's Horny Horns?
Wow. Man, you killing me, Mike. And then I'm going to leave somebody else. Somebody's going to be mad. Well, number one, straight off the bat, my good buddy Marcus Anderson. I was just on the phone with him earlier. So you got to have Marcus in there because he's an incredible artist, but also incredible in a horn section. He was in Prince's horn section.
Mm-hmm.
So, bam. So that right off the bat, Rick Braun was nice enough to play on this new song for me. So if I could ever have the opportunity to work with Rick again, I would love to. And while I'm on trumpeters, I mean, hey, let's throw Chris Bodie in there. Why not?
Okay.
So I still need 2 more saxophones.
So yes, you need 2 more saxes and then your trombone.
You're gonna kill me. You're gonna kill me. Oh gosh, it's so hard because I'm gonna leave somebody out. But I'm gonna go Kirk Whalum, Gerald Albright. Just go for the goats.
Yes. Okay.
And then
for the
what
goats.
and then,
Trombonist.
Oh gosh. Well, Brian Culbertson.
Yeah.
Put that piano down and bring the trombone. That would be a killer horn section. And you know, Brian records trombone on his albums. He's 1/3 of the horn section. A lot of times it's him, Marquel Jordan on sax, and Michael Stever on trumpet, and they do those killer horn sections on an album. So he's definitely gonna come with another trombone. That's pretty killer. Horn section right there. All those guys would kill it. And then Gerald, was in the horn section for Phil Collins. Kirk, obviously, long time with Whitney Houston, so they all have great experience in just bringing it as a section. So I think that'd be a pretty killing section.
And that's pretty cool having them all together. And the one thing that a lot of music goers get to experience on the cruises, is seeing so many people play together. Yep. Then, like, if we were just at a regular festival, somewhere, you're not gonna be able to see that many artists, play together. But the cruise, people do duo shows or they sit in with other artists at their shows, and then of course the finale shows are like gospel shows. So that would be, you would be able to see something like that. Yeah. But on the cruises, just everyone's sad. But hopefully 2022. We can get back to that. Yeah.
We will see you in 2022.
2022.
Yep.
Okay, this is from Eric Wilson. He says, when did you realize that you, Adam, finally made it in this business? Was it a song? Another artist giving you the blessing? What was it?
Oh, gosh. I would say it was when my second album came out and Can You Feel It went #1, because we've seen it time and time again. And don't get me wrong, it's a huge honor to have a debut album be a hit album and do well and be received, but it's really hard to back it up. It's because part of it is you have your whole life to do your first album, and then you have, 2 years or 18 months to do your second. So that crunch comes on, and can you repeat it? So to have Can You Feel It go #1 back in 2018 was definitely a great feeling, and it felt like a confirmation that I was here and here to stay. And I have to say, the #1 yesterday, or a couple days ago with Escape, that was confirmation too, because that's my first song to hit the top of the charts as an independent artist. My new album came out on my record label, MBF Entertainment, and shout out to my distributor, A-Train. They've been incredible. And so, Jason was congratulating on me. He said, man, it just goes to show that, the music is strong, and it doesn't matter, that I'm independent or on a big label. People just are digging the music. So that was a big confirmation as well.
Awesome. So this is from Allison Fader. Hi, Allison.
What's
Thank
up,
you for
Allison?
your question. She says, in your career, you have played with many high-profile musicians. Who would be amongst your top 3 to play or record with again?
Oh my good, again. Wow. That's a tricky question. Again, you're gonna get me in trouble. I'm gonna leave some people out, but anytime I get to work with Kirk Whalum, it's just an incredible experience. And doing his Christmas tour last year was just a dream come true. We did 7 shows. I was one of the artists on the tour. And man, what a just engaging, dynamic personality and player. Every night's different. He's always searching for something special. So definitely Kirk. Man, I'm trying to think through everybody that I've had the good fortune of working with. I did one song with Michael McDonald on a cruise in 2013. I would love to do more with Michael. I did that one song. I always have that on the resume. I got the picture standing next to him. It did happen, but it would be great. It'd be great to do more than one song. So would love to work with Michael. And man, I'm trying to think if I can come up with one more. Gosh, that is so hard.
I think I have one that I would like to see you perform with again, and that would be Natalie Cole.
That is crazy. I was just thinking
Really?
that for a couple of reasons. Number one, she was incredible, and number two, you know, we've sadly lost her. And man, if we could have her come back and sing one more time.
I think it's just like the whole performance. I think a lot of times, especially nowadays, some people forget that you're actually performing for people who have paid, first of all, to see you, and then of course they just love the music. And so I think it's kind of like that old world type of thing with the orchestra and or big band, and then her appearance. One thing I don't like is when I see people and they're not dressed for what you come to see.
Right.
I'm just like, oh wow, that's the best outfit they wanted to wear, you know, or like, oh, she couldn't even put any curls in her hair. We paid $80 for this ticket.
That's
you know.
funny. Oh wow.
And so with, you know, just, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people can attest to that, because it's just the full package. And so, and then she comes out in her white gown, and the lights hit her, and she's got that melanin popping, you know, on stage. Like, it's just, it's such a mood. It's so amazing.
And it also just gave me chills every time we did Unforgettable, and they have Nat King Cole's voice, you know, on the recording and up on the screen, and they're singing with each other. Oh, it's you know, it gives you chills. So yeah, that's so funny. Look at that, great minds think alike.
And actually, on Christmas, when we listened to Nat King Cole's Christmas album, it just was amazing. Like, I wanted to cry because his voice was just so smooth and velvety. And then you just think about all the pictures that you see and how he's just, you know, just an amazing singer, and kind of paved the way for a lot of not only male singers but female singers. And it's just amazing. Like, oh my gosh, his voice doesn't even sound real.
Yeah. Incredible. Yeah, that's a good list.
So another question from Leone. This is her question number 2. She said, do you plan to cross over musically or as a producer / mixer to any other musical genre? Yeah,
well, I already have. I've had the opportunity to do a bunch of different things. A few months ago, I finished mixing for a jazz vocalist a crooner in the style of Sinatra, Dean Martin, etc. And so he did a trio album. Shout out to my buddy Daniel Chia, great saxophonist. Look out for him. I'm producing his next album. But he connected me with this really great vocalist over in Singapore. So that was a blast. Reginald Sumalong is his name. So look out for his record. Also working on a gospel project right now with Tom Washington.
Tom Washington.
Yeah, what's up, Tom? Great vocalist, pastor. I played at his church several times many years ago, and now doing a couple songs for his next album. So there's a lot of different stuff going on. Also worked with a couple different R&B vocalists recently. So yeah, I love spreading around. I love doing everything. And then I'm always recording for church. Every week we've been doing virtual services. So it's a little bit of everything over here, and definitely a ton of contemporary jazz for sure.
Okay, so that concludes our Ask Adam, but we do have a birthday shout out.
Okay.
So we want to say a happy birthday to Jean Scott Keller.
All right.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Or, I'm so sorry, Jean Scott Keller is the one who asked us for the birthday shout out for his wife, Evelyn Keller.
Evelyn, happy birthday.
Okay, so happy birthday, Evelyn.
And thank you, Gene, for writing in. He messaged me on Facebook. By the way, if anyone out there, if you've got anniversaries, birthdays, we love doing the shout outs. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And, we're happy to drop those in, and just appreciate you guys hanging with us each week. So.
And Evelyn, write in the comments what you guys did for your birthday. If you still are sheltering in place and staying safe, let us know what meal you had, if you had any wine, what type of wine you had. And actually, one of my really, really good friends, she is pregnant with her rainbow baby, and she's due any day now.
Wow.
And their daughter's name is going to be Evelyn. So.
Oh, there we go. Perfect. Hey, see? Great minds think alike. Well, happy birthday, Evelyn.
Happy birthday.
And thanks so much for sharing it with us. And thank you, Kat, for hanging for the Cat Cam.
Yes,
Appreciate
thanks,
you.
guys.
All right. Well, now it's that time to tell you about next week's episode, and I'm so excited to connect with this gentleman. He's an incredible artist, incredible saxophonist. You know him, you love him. Yes, I am talking about the one and only Steve Cole. Amazing individual, and we had such a blast on the phone talking about this episode, talking about what music we were going to do, talking about what we were going to talk about. He's just a great guy, and we were just rolling the whole time. So don't miss it. Next week, November 4th, the incredible Steve Cole. And as I mentioned, I'm working on some incredible episodes coming up. Pete Project, Althea Renee, the phenom Justin Schultz. You've definitely seen him on social media. He has like 1 million followers. Working on Ollie Silk still, and so we got the shows coming at you every week, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Adam Holly Artist page. Make sure you like my page so you find out about the episodes, find out about everything else going on. And one more time, I'll just mention, if you want to help out the show, it's greatly appreciated. PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, just click those links in the description, or you can do stars as well. So really appreciate you guys for that. So we got time for one more tune. Let me pull it up here. I think we're gonna go a little old school on you guys. Is that all right? I'm gonna switch it up a little bit here, and I'm gonna go to my second album for a tune I wrote with my good buddy Greg Manning. This is called Just a Friend of Mine. Come on, y'all, put your hands right here. Here we go. my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes another episode of AH Live. We enjoyed the incredible Paula Atherton and Vaughn Stupart. Don't forget, November 4th, next Wednesday, we have the one and only Steve Cole in the house. Thank you so much for coming in. We hope to see you next week. Have a great night.